Hey, I'm just gonna, whilst waiting for my customers meeting, and I'm actually in New York right now, uh, with the iPhone 11 and 11 Pro available if I want to buy them. So I haven't decided what I want yet, so I'm just gonna do a short video since every day, every time when I want to buy something, electronic gadgets, cell phones, I always talk to myself and do a comparison, the pros and the cons of Samsung, Huawei, iPhone. So instead of doing that, I thought I might as well vlog it. So okay, the iPhone 11, if I want to buy, it goes at I will buy at 128 gigabyte, which translates to about 3,400 ringgit, which is 799. 11 Pro, I probably can only afford to buy 64 gig. I don't know how much is that worth it, whether to buy 64 gig. The next memory up is 256 gig, which I think is a little bit too expensive. So that goes at 999, which translates to about 4,300 ringgit. Still very cheap. Anyway, for your information, I just had a Samsung Note 10 Plus 6 days ago. So anyway, okay, so number one that I always will consider, processor stability. The iPhone 11 has a good processor stability, which means that you play between apps and you go round and round, everything connects well, everything does well. But then again, saying so, I have a Fitbit watch. It connects very well with my Samsung as well. It's so far the notification is great. I can reply on this, but with an iPhone I'm not able to reply on this unless I have an Apple Watch. The only reason why you want to use an iPhone, or why I want to go convert to an iPhone, is if I'm into an iCloud ecosystem, if you use it. But then again, iCloud ecosystem versus a Microsoft ecosystem, I have spent the last 4 or 5 years using an iCloud ecosystem, but in the last 6 months or something like that, I managed to transition to a Microsoft ecosystem. I have a Microsoft 365 subscription, which comes with 1 terabyte of OneDrive space, cloud space, and it comes with a task, is something like Apple's reminder, and I use OneNote. So everything so far is great, but it's just I feel the program is very heavy, and when you want to open and write a quick note, it takes some time as compared to an Apple Note. So that's the only thing that I need to consider. Second thing, battery life. So far, Apple has never had a good battery life. It always have to come with a power bank or a smart battery casing. But with this Samsung, which has about 4,300 milliamps of battery capacity, seems like, I don't know, maybe it's quite coarse green, but it seems for the last 1 week that I use it, the battery life seems to drain very fast as well. Charging speed, I believe the Samsung charging speed is much faster than a iPhone one, but of course if you can't compare to a Huawei P30 Pro, this is super damn fast. Okay. Functionality of Note 10 Plus versus Apple. With the Apple, you have a fixed interface, which there's your main page and your calendar apps and everything, and you can subfolder it, and you got 4 frequently used apps at the bottom, and you can scroll to the next page, and that's it. With Samsung, you can put a whole page of your calendar or your next appointment, everything, and when you scroll to it, you can just immediately go in one glance and look at your weather and customize your screen and what you want to look at, instead of just tiny icons of apps. That's a good thing about Samsung. I find that not always useful, but it's nice to have. The fourth thing I want to talk about is clocks, notes, reminders, music, calendars. These 5 things that I use every single day. Every single day that I use these 5 things. Clocks. Samsung clock looks good. I mean, I haven't tried the alarm, but so far I think it works well. The timer works well. Bixby compared to Siri. Bixby is a lot more stupid compared to Siri. Siri is a lot smarter, but then again, I use Siri, but not as often as until that it affects my decision. Notes. well, yeah, Samsung notes, I can scribble in it with a Samsung pen and all. Reminders, I've switched to Task. The Apple Music, I've been using Spotify now, which works well for me so far. Calendars, Samsung calendars so far is working well for me. So number 5, the address book as contacts versus contacts. So far, I think I've started to back up all my contacts in my Google, in my Gmail. So I think it should be working well. Previously, it was in iCloud. Now it's in Google. So occasionally there will be contacts that is not saved because it was saved in iCloud, but I can live with that. 6, the money that I'll be spending by owning an iPhone. Cases, apps, subscription. I personally think that iPhone is a little bit too hype. I don't know how practical it is. If you talk about battery lives, if you talk about apps, I think that a lot of people, including myself, are overthinking it too much. It's a point whereby, do I want to have a latest iPhone, which translate to just spending money and it's not practical, or in my case, since I'm in the United States, should I go to an Apple store here and buy the original iPhone where it comes from? Just because for the name of it, spending about $4,000 or $5,000. I don't know how practical is it. It depends on how fast I can earn back this $4,000 or $5,000, of course. And then that goes about saying that if I don't spend this $4,000 or $5,000 here, would I be spending it elsewhere? Yeah, probably will. But if I spend it here, would I not be spending elsewhere? It's the same as I said that when I bought this Samsung, it's about $3,000. Excuse me. Would I be, instead with the 3,000 versus 5,005 for the 256 gig iPhone 11 Pro, the 2005 that I saved, would I be using it elsewhere now? Would I be buying a bag? Would I be buying else things? Or I would be better if I buy an iPhone. I probably will still be spending the money. I shouldn't. So the best way is to start now. I might as well start now. I might as well start saving now and not spend on a new iPhone. Because spending on a new iPhone just means that I want to buy the name, that I bought this phone in United States. I bought this phone in an Apple store. I just want the name. And then after that, how practical is it? I don't know. Probably, I still feel that Samsung is probably more practical because I spend less, number one. Number two, screen's bigger. I don't even want to think about battery lifespan or processor speed. They're probably overthinking things too much. More practical one would be a Samsung, and I still stand by the decision that I made last week to buy a Samsung phone. I probably will walk into an Apple store, probably, but I don't think I'll be buying an iPhone. I don't know. I hope not.